I encourage you to study Ezekiel 38-39. What you find is this Russian-Iranian alliance is forming against Israel, but it's coming primarily from the north. Now, Lebanon and Syria are not mentioned, but much of the force comes from the north against the mountains of Israel. Well, where are the major mountains of Israel? They're on the border with Lebanon, and they're on the border with Syria, the Golan Heights. Okay? So you'd be expecting the Russian-Iranian forces primarily to come from the north, though you'd have others surrounding Israel in other ways. Now, this is what God says happens. Now, if you go through this text, and I encourage you to do it, especially in the current environment, you will not find any country that comes to Israel's defense. No country is described as rushing to Israel's aid. Not the European Union, not Canada, not the UN, not the US. But I understand it the way Tim LaHaye told it to me. I understand that at a certain moment it doesn't look like it could possibly be true, but we teach it anyway. We don't have to connect all the dots. That's not our responsibility. It's to teach the text. And the text says this is going to happen. In other words, it doesn't mention the United States, but it doesn't say that any country will come. What will happen is that Israel will be the most isolated, most cut off, most threatened, most endangered in all of human history. And then what happens? Verse 18 of chapter 38. It will come about on that day when Gog comes against the land of Israel, declares the Lord God, that my fury will mount up in my anger. In my zeal and in my blazing wrath, I declare that on that day there will surely be a great earthquake in the land of Israel. The fish of the sea, the birds of the heavens, the beasts of the field, and all the creeping things that creep on the earth, and all the men who are on the face of the earth will shake at my presence. The mountains will be thrown down, the steep pathways will collapse, every wall will fall to the ground. I will call for a sword against him who, Gog, the head of Russia, the head of this coalition, on my mountains, declares the Lord God. Every man's sword will be against his brother. With pestilence and with blood, I will enter into judgment with him, with Gog. And I will rain on him and on his troops and on the many peoples who are with him, a torrential rain with hailstones, fire, and brimstone. I will magnify myself, sanctify myself, and make myself known in the sight of many nations. And they will know that I am the Lord. Do you understand what's happening here? God is going to allow no nation to come to Israel's defense. Israel's going to feel isolated, cut off, endangered, about to be annihilated, wiped off the face of the earth. And when nobody comes to its aid, God will supernaturally step in. Why? To show that Israel has no hope except for him, to show the nations that he is God. There's going to be disease, there's going to be fire from heaven, there's going to be earthquakes, there's going to be the armies of the enemies of Israel will turn against each other and start attacking each other. It's going to be horrific, apocalyptic. And God will do a supernatural work to physically save the Jewish people, the state of Israel, in the last days of history. And he will do it to bring glory to himself. Not because our people deserve it. Not because you don't hear anything about people turning for prayer or fasting or begging God. He just does it.